entire shipment, the agreement will help restore the university's research enterprise and protect its autonomy. In a letter to members of the Columbia community, she stressed the settlement is not an admission of wrongdoing, but she acknowledged the impact of anti-Semitic incidents on campus. She said the university is committed to create a safe, respectful environment, adding it will work on multiple fronts to combat all forms of hatred and intolerance. Earlier this month, the university agreed to a number of policy changes. It also cited action it has taken, including suspension or expulsion of students who violated rules during protests. Columbia will also update its definition of anti-Semitism and expand training on civil rights law. In addition, the university agreed to follow laws banning race-based hiring and admissions. President Trump praised Wednesday's deal, calling it a victory for civil liberties. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi hailed the agreement as a message that no university is above the law. According to the university, the settlement was carefully negotiated to avoid losing accreditation, federal funding, and visas for international students. Acting President Shipman says she hopes the Columbia community is ready to reset and focus again on academic rigor and respectful debate.
On Capitol Hill, the House has begun its August recess, but the Senate continues to work on important nominations, including the nomination of former National Security Advisor Mike Waltz to be the next UN ambassador. Our Washington correspondent, Luis Eduardo Martinez, has the details on the story.
The Senate is moving ahead with President Trump's nominations despite some pushback from lawmakers to the president's request to cancel the August recess.
And I know that President Trump has placed a keen priority on his nominees, and we will advance them as quickly as we possibly can.
This Thursday, the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee advanced the nomination of former Congressman Mike Waltz to become the next UN ambassador. He now awaits a full Senate floor vote to be confirmed.
Aye.
The Senate Judiciary Committee also advanced this Thursday the nomination of Janine Pirro to be the next U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. And the full Senate began debate on the nomination of Emile Bove to become a judge in the Third Circuit Appeals Court. These votes have been partisan, and Democrats have threatened to block the appropriations process on which the Senate is behind schedule.
We can't reach agreements when Trump simply overrides them later on a strictly partisan basis. There's no trust. There's no...
How do you trust a Democrat?
Republicans' word.
The Democrats have indicated, because they're so upset over the rescissions bill last week, which, by the way, cut 1/10 of 1% of all federal spending, that somehow they can use that as an excuse to shut down the appropriations process and therefore shut down the government.
The Senate is also ready to quickly move to vote on a new Russia sanctions package.
Russia sanctions, when it's ready to go, with the right bipartisan support, which I think exists. There are 85 co-sponsors on that bill. We ought to be able to expedite consideration of that on the floor. And I'm ready to do that. Again, we're working, trying to coordinate with the White House.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune has advised senators that it is possible that he will extend the Senate session into the first week of August. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Luis Eduardo Martinez, NTD News.
The Justice Department filed a lawsuit against New York City today to challenge its so-called sanctuary city laws. The complaint filed in the Eastern District of New York says New York sanctuary policies have obstructed the federal government from enforcing its immigration laws. It accuses the city of allowing dangerous criminals to remain on the streets committing serious crimes. This lawsuit is one in a long line of complaints the department has filed, including complaints against the state of New York and the city of Rochester as part of an effort to invalidate their sanctuary policies. Illegal border crossings in June dropped to the lowest level ever reported. What impact will this have on American communities and small businesses? Hear from Javier Palomares, President and CEO of the U.S. Hispanic Business Council, tonight on Capitol Report at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Legendary WWE star Hulk Hogan has died. Fans took to social media today to pay their respects to the pro wrestling and entertainment icon. NTD's Andrew Thomas has more on Hogan's career and the reactions to his passing.
Authorities responded to a call this morning in Clearwater, Florida about a cardiac arrest. Police said Hogan was pronounced dead at a hospital. Hogan, whose real name was Terry Bollea, was one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling. The main draw for the first WrestleMania in 1985, Hogan became an icon in the WWE. The household name faced off against opponents like Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, The Rock, and even company chairman Vince McMahon. Hogan would win at least 6 WWE championships and was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005. WWE posted on X, calling Hogan, quote, one of pop culture's most recognizable figures. Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 1980s. WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans. President Donald Trump took to Truth Social, posting, quote, we lost a great friend today, the Hulkster. Hulk Hogan was MAGA all the way, strong, tough, smart, but with the biggest heart. Trump added, quote, to his wife Sky and family, we give our warmest best wishes and love. Hulk Hogan will be greatly missed. Vice President J.D. Vance posted on X, calling Hogan, quote, a great American icon. Fellow pro wrestling star Ric Flair took to the platform as well, posting, quote, Hulk has been by my side since we started in the wrestling business. An incredible athlete, talent, friend, and father. Our friendship has meant the world to me. Hogan was 71 years old. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
After a troubling probe into the organ transplant system, the Department of Health and Human Services says reforms are coming. The HHS organ transplant chief says some changes will include more education, better reading of a donor's brain activity, and the ability to halt procedures if concerns arise. NTD correspondent Jason Blair has more.
I think it's important to understand that the awareness of these reports is in itself a good thing. It means that our oversight is working.
A probe by the HHS found that some organ transplants were being approved from patients who might not have been confirmed dead. In a study of over 350 cases in which over 100 patients either showed signs of life or there was no recorded time of death when the transplant took place. One case was told at a House Oversight and Investigation Subcommittee hearing on Tuesday.
Both hospital staff and the staff from the Organ Procurement Organization noted potential signs of consciousness and discomfort from the patient. Nevertheless, the process proceeded. The surgeon ultimately refused to operate, stating they felt the operation would be inhumane and unethical. The patient ultimately recovered and was later discharged from the hospital and is still alive today.
The HHS ordered changes to the organ transplant and procurement system, saying these reforms are essential to restoring trust, ensuring informed consent, and protecting the rights and dignity of prospective donors and their families. Dr. Lynch highlights some planned action.
And that really encompasses better education for the families, for the hospital teams, making sure that those teams and families are able to call for a halt if they see concerning features, and making sure that that group, the OPO, is doing a good job understanding what is actually happening in the patient's brain. Are they injured? Are they dying? Are they recovering?
And then on Wednesday, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. ordered the removal of mercury from flu vaccines, specifically thimerosal, which is roughly 50% mercury by weight. Kennedy says injecting any amount of mercury into children when safe mercury-free alternatives exist defies common sense and public health responsibility. Today, we put safety first. Thimerosal was removed from many vaccines starting in 1999. Kennedy says he hopes other countries can follow the U.S. by also removing thimerosal. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Jason Blair, NTD News.